And welcome to the SmackDown preview. I'm Adam Wilbourn from What Culture, joined by another one of Dudley Boy, Michael Hamflett from What Culture, to look ahead to tonight's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only preview Friday Night SmackDown, but also the show formerly known as NXT 2K. AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a round of the week complete with a big quiz, of course, on wrestle culture. As I said, though, joined by Michael Hamflett to look ahead to the SmackDown after WrestleMania.
God, I've missed being able to say yeet and somebody actually say it back. You know, if you say yeet on a packed train at 7 o'clock in the morning, heading to Newcastle, nobody says it back and you're asked to get off.
And also,
it's a waste of time, this country. It's a waste of my goddamn time.
If it's a yes or no question, apparently people don't take kindly if you just like, sorry, I'm going to just get past you there, going, yeah!
I don't like it. I don't respect it. And I don't know what happened to this country. And I know, by the way, that this history that we're taught in schools, that Netflix is the crown, I know that to be a myth, because I saw some statues in Philadelphia, some fella called Barry with a sword. It tells me that history is like a couple 100 years old. That's all the history I need. I don't need anything that predates what I saw for 7 days over there across the Atlantic Ocean, where things are just better.
It was pretty good, wasn't it?
It was f***ing brilliant, Wilbourn.
What is that? I wondered how long you were going to last.
I'm amazed it went this long, quite honestly.
I just got one thing to say to you. See?
Well, right.
No, sorry, I'm sorry. Bang two rights here.
I conceded that point. I did see the tweet.
See?
Can I
a year I've sat on that tweet. Didn't say SummerSlam. I forgot.
Yeah, we have to. Yeah,
you could do some amazing things with AI nowadays. And someone dedicated themselves.
I can't make an Uso singles match good, and I'm saying that with frigging Jay's catchsprache splashed across my chest.
Still kind of quite liked elements.
No, you didn't.
I did a little bit.
One final yeet, is it? Is that like? Oh, I love that. Yeah, this is like spend money right on going to see Jay Uso. End of sentence. I want to see him wrestle. I love him. One of my new favorite wrestlers. And the bell rings. But then he wins, and the bell rings again.
I like Jimmy and Jay on night 2, I'll say that.
Oh my God.
Poor Jay had died.
That Spear spot was better than their entire match.
Yeah.
Like maybe better than most of their interactions after Jimmy stopped being funny on SmackDown all those months. I feel like between now and next year's WrestleMania, different...
Oh God, there's another one, isn't there?
Just 11 months and like 363 days or something.
The personification, by the way, I will let you make your point in a second, of the world's ending on Sunday, and then Monday, better stick around because the world's going to end soon. I was kind of like, Cody's finished the story. I've been proven right, as I always am, which is the most important thing.
Yeah.
And, I've watched some amazing wrestling. I think I've watched the best WrestleMania entrance ever in The Rock, night 1.
Okay.
The best WrestleMania main event ever on night 1. Oh, and then subsequently on night 2. And the whole WrestleMania experience, the best WrestleMania night 2 without question.
Yep.
The whole experience, I was like, you know what? I could just ride off into the sunset now. I'll go and do What Culture Golf or something.
Right.
And then...
Yacht culture.
The Rock hands a mysterious thing to Cody, and I go, oh, you son of a bitch, I'm in.
That bit where he was like, of that entire fantastic... Was it like 47 minutes?
Yes.
And you got your stopwatches. I want that.
Oh, piss off.
No, I want them to time every goddamn second, because you know what wasn't happening? Boring ass action.
Yeah.
Because the hottest stars in the world, both of them, like in one ring. The bit for me was when
The Rock hold your belt.
It was so frightening. Don't give him it, Cody. But the bit when he was like, I think my dad would have liked what he saw when what I did to you. I didn't care. Oh, Jesus Christ. Like, you act like that in your films, you might actually win some Oscars. Like,
Shane, shut the up now. I've just watched The Rock swear live and in person.
I was, and here's a good example of it, by the way. I feel like between
We're going to be all over the place, by the way, on this podcast. We will mention SmackDown at some point.
Yeah, I know when you tune in the SmackDown preview, you want a nice, concise, tight rundown of the things that take place on SmackDown and then get the hell out of here. But today it might be a little bit different.
They've not advertised anything. Cody and Bayley are going to be there. There's your preview.
Done. Tick, tick, motherfucking tick. And you'll watch anyway because it's a goddamn blue brand. We'll be speaking in scattershot about Philadelphia for the next several months.
Oh, yeah, apologies.
Like, not least because, like, for those that weren't aware, like, we were having slightly different trips.
Yes.
Like, they came together at various points. I saw you, like, briefly. I don't know if you remember this. I saw you. I actually caught up with Stax after NXT Stand and Deliver. Mm-hmm. I had a chat with Stax.
Yeah.
Like, I was pretty nervous. Like, you do this all the time, but like the bit where you know when you like do those things after the shows where you stand in front of all the people and you have chats with all the people that have been at the show. Like, I don't know what happened, but like I found myself doing that, and then sure enough, I'm just like, well, guess I'm like, it was Garth in Wayne's World. I'm reviewing NXT, and then oh, thank God, a colleague Stax was there.
Yeah, I missed him, unfortunately.
You did, right? So he went off. He told a very, very risky joke about Russia, considering that we were in a crowd full of people in America. There was a child there.
Yeah.
There was something about an appendage. And then he left. I was like, well, I best wrap up this thing. And then you turned back up. I don't know where you were, Wilbourn, but like, it just sort of worked out. These things happen sometimes. Caught you briefly there, didn't I? But otherwise, I think other than that little interaction, I feel like we didn't see a lot of each other over that Philadelphia week. We were covering all ends of the city, I suppose. But that's another reason why. It's because we can share our daft stories with each other while we're doing something dressed up as work.
I was going to say, you were nervous about meeting Stax, were you?
Well, yeah.
Let me tell you.
Well, I'm sure when you say nervous,
it's just a work environment. So this is home turf for us. We're in not enemy territory, but it's the away leg, isn't it?
When he comes here, he sits at our desk in our studio. He sits in your chair. The thing is, you're always like with Phil or something.
Yeah,
but like, he always sits in your chair. You know, when you have to go to the toilet or go and like check your phone for something, he comes in and he actually sits in your chair. So there's obviously
I sometimes move on the previews, and unfortunately the cameras aren't rolling. I'll move to the side.
That's it. Yeah, people don't see that. Yeah, but there's obviously a comfort level you have here where he's like, I'm just going to take Wilbourn's chair. But as you say, in his environment, you must have been thinking, where can I put myself in?
Well, yeah, that, and weirdly, it must be because he was in work environment. Sort of no-sold that he knew me, I'll be honest, the first time that I bumped into him at Wale Mania.
I heard that. Strange.
And then I get the feeling from subsequent tweets, someone might have clued him in. And now I don't know how to feel about all this.
Nothing's changed, right? Stax is welcome every Tuesday, every Wednesday to Park the Von Cord on top of the building. Come and join us.
I really hope someone
Rain or shine.
just said, oh yeah, no, this guy, at What Culture. In fact, watch the Christmas special.
Have a look at that. Slides it across the table.
Who's that meant to be?
Oh, it's me, a mirror.
Honestly, best WrestleMania week ever. We've had some amazing times. Texas was a particular highlight of ours for numerous reasons. Cody, Stone Cold, etc. I think it's going to have to go a long way to top what I've just experienced. Because the thing is, we always have a great time at Wale Mania, for example. We always have an amazing time meeting people, particularly this year, because we've got to meet so many people who regularly contribute. Jonathan Rivera is a perfect example. Eric Vasquez, Matt Reigns, Ashley Reigns.
My good friend, Matt Reigns.
So that was really nice.
He's a great guy.
But it's not rare, but it is nice to combine that with. And I wasn't disappointed by any aspect of the wrestling over the weekend.
Yeah, right. I thought night one sucked. But like...
I was just riding a high.
I don't care. I want to point that out. Like, I didn't like night one very much, but I was... WWE... I don't know if I've ever sort of mentioned this in the podcast, but I quite like WWE.
Yeah.
And their presentation is my cup of tea, even when I know it's not a lot of other people's. And WrestleMania is the best version of their presentation. And I am so wowed by WrestleMania for the first sort of 2 hours, really, of being around the stadium.
Yes.
maybe more sometimes, like just the aesthetics, the feelings, the vibes, the scale of it all, the production, all of it. That kind of carried a lot of night one for me anyway, even when I wasn't particularly enjoying the matches. I wasn't as cold as a lot of other people seem to be. There was a lot of like weather discussion depending on which bit of the stadium we were in. Like we on either night really didn't experience too many issues with the lights, but I know a lot of people did. I was there with my cousin Nick, who like a lot of people met, which was nice, and we'd never done that. Like we'd never done that before, having wanted to do it for pretty much all our lives. So like that was really cool. So I was very much wrapped up in the like all the evocative side of a WrestleMania on night one. Night two, to your point, was the best night two ever. Yeah, there was magic in the air, and like it allayed a few fears I had as well, because I think my problems. I don't want to get too analytical on a wrestling podcast. That's for other times of the week. But like one of my big problems coming out of night one was, I think ultimately the tag match, where the main event failed for me, was that everybody wanted the heels to win. Everybody was pretty much there to see The Rock wrestle more than anything else, with the knowledge that they were getting Cody and Roman the next night. I almost think, and this would have been, the tension would have been out the ass. If you'd have made the stakes, Cody only gets the shot if the baby faces win, I think that would have transformed the dynamic of the tag. Yeah. You were watching heels that you wanted to win, including like the biggest star of all time in his trunks again. And it kind of felt like Cody was a bit like, you know, when everybody was like, it's going to be Roman, he's going to be the third man, or like fourth man or whatever. I think it ended up being Cody, because people were saving all the joy for night two. And then when he came out on night two, like, no, he's the biggest star in the world. Everything is absolutely fine. Because Becky Lynch had some boos as well. Yeah. I was like, oh, is this going to be like old-fashioned Philadelphia where they're going to boo the baby faces? Like, I don't really want that for Cody on night two. But then no, all fears were allayed by night two. Yeah, it was magic. That main event, it's been a week nearly, and I still can't really put into words all of my ever-changing, undulating emotional responses to that last sort of 15 minutes of the main event, other than to say, like, I enjoyed The Undertaker. Yeah. Now, I don't know if that's because it went dong, he appeared, he did one move and he left, and that's all The Undertaker I've ever needed. Yes. But I was so, like, engaged with the building. I was at one. Like, my body was ready. I was at one with the building at this point. That was just like, everything's amazing. Everything's fantastic. And you are right to take your victory lap. You are. Because this is about victory laps and settling scores. Better than if they'd done it last year, innit? Well, come on. Anyway, well, I think we'll have a longer chat about that one of these days. I think WrestleMania 40, I'm worried about how much analysis we're doing here. I think WrestleMania 40 made WrestleMania 39 the best WrestleMania ever. Exactly. That's the reality of this. WrestleMania 40's ending made 39 the best ever. I don't think this year was anywhere near as good as 39 as a two-night extravaganza, but the finish of last year's is at very least excused by 40. I don't know. We'll have a chat in 6 months about if this was the right call. But as a night that I was able to experience live, it felt like a privilege to be in attendance for it. You've got to let it play out, mate. Well, and this is where I agree with you. You don't even need to make me on it, because I believe it was the post-Survivor Series edition of Raw when R-Truth bought the Judgment Day new telly. Right? I think you need to strap up R-Truth. Yeah. I got my own little right with that one, because he was the biggest star of night one other than The Rock. Well, you don't have to rub it in Cedric's face, who's represented here by a WWE microphone. Because a friend to microphone. Now he's, equally as good at bigger Fed fan as we are. He did request a prescription from Dr. Fed on night two, because, let me just lay these things out for a second, right? A Drew McIntyre title run. Like, I like Drew McIntyre a lot now, but there were a lot of years where I very much didn't. Abbreviated by CM Punk revealing he is fit in the exact method I called during his Ariel Helwani thing, when he was like tapping the brace and talking. I like people to think they know everything, but then I keep it only for them to create a living version of the meme as the Judgment Day's music hits. Mate, I purpled out. Yeah. Like, that all happened, and then everything went purple, and then I think I only came halfway through the six-man with the Mega Glove and the Last Street Kids. Which they made good as well. Yeah. Like, even when Karen Cross fell through that table, just do it again. I've heard brief snippets of Snoop on commentary as well, and it sounds amazing. B-Fab and Scarlet spot was pretty good. Yeah. Like, when they went back first through the table. And Snoop goes, what the hell happened there? And like, I couldn't even... like, so it was really cool, right? So like we'd been at the ECW arena twice. Both shows were like loaded with really like authentic feeling ECW nostalgia. I got just a once in a lifetime experience with the Sandman, or in the case of my cousin, a twice in a lifetime experience with the Sandman, which you can scroll through. Like I tried to document as much as possible on X, my timeline. If you want to see anything from last Thursday, you probably have to scroll through about 300 tweets. I was that excited. But like I'd had so much of the real feeling ECW that when WWE gave you a bit of like, here's Bubba Ray in a ref shirt, I was like, yeah, why not? And Paul Heyman coming out to his ECW music for the Hall of Fame and hearing it, like that music in such a big stadium was this moment of like, everything gets old.
Yeah.
Like I would have been a little teenage edgelord in 1998, whatever, looping that music by Harry Slash over and over and over again and watching my little ECW videos that I bought from HMV when they first got released in the UK, 16 quid a shot. And like, never in a million years would I imagine, one day I'll be in my late 30s. That's never going to happen, Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
But that I would be in a stadium while that music plays, and it's like everything gets old, everything becomes vintage, everything becomes like retro, and it was just so nice to, I'm at this point in my life. It was actually giving me this like, but in a nice way, all these like existential feelings of like, you know, those old WrestleMania videos where you've got like people from all corners of the world tuning in, like crackly old telly.
Yeah.
I was living it. I was like, and time's arrow marches forward, and I got a tear in my eye thinking about it.
And a genius move as well, because obviously Bubba Ray putting on the glasses was always going to get a pop, but double pop because they turned the lights off at that exact moment, which I don't think was a coincidence in my opinion.
There was a bit where they were playing with people because they put them back on, and then like some people would go boo and then turn them off straight afterwards, and it's like
you just match it with the heel and babyface taking over the match basically, and your job done. I needed some dude wipes to wipe me dry.
Dude wipes, you know. Yeah, right. And that was the other thing. So like that was night one, billboards everywhere, branding everywhere, sponsorship everywhere you looked. Night two, decidedly more about the business. And not just because the damn man made an appearance. Did the right thing for Dream's kid. Which, by the way, a bit of law there. You realise, people saying, like, it was going to be Austin. How'd you fold The Undertaker into it? I'll friggin' tell you how.
I know this, but carry on.
Yoko.
Oh.
Big quiche. I got history with that family. Dwayne did not want to play bones with a BSK. And that's where the damn man fell out with a blood.
There's me thinking it was the Royal Rumble spot, but still. Brilliant.
Yeah, I found law for you. Yeah, like this was the first and maybe only time I'll ever get to like challenge myself to just how much wrestling I can watch in a week in that WrestleMania.
Yeah, I thought you were going to be wrestling out.
No,
you're doing 50 matches and you'd got there by night one, basically.
Yeah, we were trying to get to 40. And we'd cracked 40 before WrestleMania. We hit 40 at NXT. I can't remember the name of it.
Sorry, it's been a long week. Stand and deliver. Oh, yeah, yeah.
We hit 40 there.
We're moving past that now. Spring breaking, dude.
It's good to be back. It's really good to be back. This helps. Like this is therapy. Like 40 matches before we even got to WrestleMania. Didn't even get to the cluster F. Save you one bleep. Thanks. The traffic was pretty bad getting out at WrestleMania night one. But like Josh Barnett's Bloodsport, 2 separate ECW arena
featured
shows.
On a video of Braun Strowman, if I'm not mistaken. And
we did,
who else was there?
Braun, Nia, Karrion Kross.
That's it.
I think Sonya Deville was there. Siege, CJ Perry, Natalia. There's a lad in a pink hoodie at the back. Can't remember his name. It was weird, right? Because the person filming the video felt like a TikTok.
Yeah.
And you could just see like me and Nick stood like, they were right behind us. Like we could hear their voices. And I was like trying to be cool and not just turn around constantly and look at them. But like, so strange because like, so the TikTok that went a bit viral, like is of all, scans along the WWE wrestlers, you see them. And then like, there's a guy in like a pink hoodie. And he's just sat there chilled. He's enjoying the show, having a little bite to eat, whatever. And it's so strange because like it almost looks, because it's like, they're not really where they're being filmed.
Yeah.
It kind of like looks a bit like sort of security footage almost. And this security footage featuring this guy was sort of viewed everywhere over WrestleMania weekend. I like ego, right? I saw myself in it, and I was like, well, like 500,000 viewers in this one clip. It's ticking up. It's like TikTok gets everywhere, doesn't it? There's 1 million views on this like security-looking footage featuring this wrestler. And I log on Saturday. I'm just asking questions. Yeah, that was great. What?
Nothing.
Yeah, 2 shows at the ECW Arena. One specifically an ECW nostalgia show. NXT, where we were in the nosebleeds. We were like we worked out, like myself and my cousin were like a full, like sort of 100, like you were in the hundreds, we were in the 200s, almost directly on sort of above and below each other. And then very kindly, a guy who I've always had nothing but respect for.
Indeed.
Matt Rains, cheers to you. Let us know that there was a row of seats just behind him and his lovely wife, Ashley.
Adam Blair was around there as well.
Adam Blair was only a few seats along. So we went and sat down there. I mean,
Where?
Down there. What a view.
What a view.
What a view. For the bulk of the card, realistically. They're like the second half of the show. So we had this great time at NXT. And then, it was WrestleMania. I would be remiss if I didn't mention one show from that little lot that wasn't included, but it was a free show. The Wells Fargo Centre was right next to the Lincoln Financial Field, which itself was right next to 2 other, like all of Philadelphia sports.
Yeah, like the baseball stadiums there as well. Yeah.
All there. You can see the Phillies there, the whole deal. And looks lovely, resplendent with all the WWE regalia and all that sort of stuff. Across the road, going to FDR Park, keep walking down the path until FDR Park starts to disappear, and you will find FDR Skate Park literally underneath the motorway.
Oh my God.
Where myself and my cousin enjoyed, let's say half of, because we had another show to get to, and the police turned up.
Love it.
New Fear City's Murder Mania Philadelphia. I mean, already for the names. But I saw my new favourite wrestler. You know, like you go to WrestleMania, you go to all these indie shows, and you discover all these great wrestlers.
Yeah.
I saw Lindsay Snow wrestle in Bloodsport and indeed wrestle in this Death Bowl. She was in the Cluster F, which you would have seen. So it was like she's about. There was like a number of wrestlers that I found myself seeing twice. I saw Nick Nemeth wrestle twice, for example. You know, he did a zigzag in a shoot fight at Bloodsport, right? So just one of these things that's WrestleMania that you never saw. Billy Starks appear at For the Culture, which was the midnight show we attended after WrestleMania Night 1. She got out, was it after night 1? Anyway, it gets confusing. I think it was the same night as Ring of Honor, because she got out of a taxi in her gear, holding her newly won women's TV title, and then just went into the building while we were just stood outside waiting to get in. Congratulations, Billy. Thanks very much. In she goes with her newly won
Hope your
title.
neck's all right.
Yeah, and she looked in good shape. What a bit that was.
Amazing.
So yeah, that would have been the Friday. But yeah, it's all good. There's no ring. It's a skate park. People are jumping off like half pipes. Have I got that word right? I don't know. People using like people's skateboards from the skaters that were there that suddenly found themselves descended upon by a wrestling show and a crowd of maybe a couple of hundred people. And they had a match called the Death Bowl, which was just like a mini Royal Rumble.
It looked a Death Bowl.
It sure did, didn't it? People taking bumps in the concrete, won by my new favourite wrestler, Rob a wonderfully skeevy looking fella. I mean, with a name like that.
My name's Jeff Bitch. You can just call me Bitch.
Tits! So he was great. What an experience. A Wolf was there for a bit.
I saw.
And then it turned, and then we had another show to get to. Earnestly, it was the ECW nostalgia show that we wanted to get to, so we left for that. Saw Rob Van Dam come out to Walk by Pantera in the ECW arena. Had the Sandman pour beer down my throat.
Class.
I stunk. Sat next to 2 people, right, who told me they'd got a picture of me drinking the Sandman's beer, and then they're like, oh, that'd be amazing if you could send me that. It'd be fantastic. And they're like, oh, by the way, we're coming to the What Culture live show.
Oh,
on
wow.
Sunday. Loveliest guys. Met them again at the live show itself. So it was just one of them weekends where there was just magic around every corner. And I'm not sure when we do the work trips, obviously, which I was only like involved in a little bit with you guys. You know, it's predominantly a WWE weekend, so we do WWE coverage, there's NXT, Ring of Honor, like gets a go in there as well, but that's about as much as you can fit in, isn't it, over a busy coverage weekend. So I don't know how many opportunities I'll get to go where you just look at the time and think, well, that venue's only over there.
Yeah.
We can get there.
Yeah.
Shall we just watch another 3 hours of wrestling? And that feeling of, yeah, let's just keep going. We'll sleep when we're dead. Like, and believe me, I've slept like the dead since getting home. It's magic. It is, honestly. We say this coming back off these trips, like when we're privileged to attend any of them, really, not just WrestleMania, but any of the big sort of gatherings like this. I felt this after like Clash at the Castle in Cardiff, and like I hope this year, like All In goes to plan, and you can be a part of the big Wembley thing because you were missed last year. It's just so amazing when wrestling gets a city.
Yes,
like it's special for us because we live in this 2-bit green-covered country, piece of nation. Like, so it's more special for us.
Yes,
to get to go and drink your drinks that we can't get over here, to eat food with so much sugar in that wouldn't be served over here. It's extra special for us. But I think that's the unifying experience, is that for that 1 week, you can be walking down the street and go, yeet, and somebody will fire you a yeet back.
Yeah.
There's merch everywhere. You're almost abnormal if you're not on the wrestling clock. It feels like it gets to be your city for a few days, and there's a sense of community and all that sort of stuff, which we get to benefit from by things like our live show, which was just one of the single greatest experiences
to everyone
in my
who
life.
came. We'll stop banging on about it for now. We'll probably do one in London, but we'll stop banging on about live shows for a bit.
No plugs for a while. Instead, we're just going to be celebrating what an amazing night it was. And yeah, like, it is a come down. I think I do feel that's a universal experience, not just for people that travelled to America, but wherever you came from. I feel like it is a weird adjustment. I noticed a bit of like lethargy towards Dynamite this week, and I don't think it was. I don't think it's unreasonable to suggest that part of that was because if you attended WrestleMania and you were kind of like within that Fed bubble, and look, this is hot Fed, right? I've been saying this this is not a new phenomenon.
No.
Like this is, I would say like last 18 months or so minimum, you're watching a hot product. And I was desperate.
Well, as you're cooking, it needs to be hot, so.
Indeed. I've been desperate to be a part of it. I watched the Attitude Era and the year 2000, especially from afar. And I just thought, well, never really experienced that again in person in a live crowd, and then had multiple bites of it. And I was looking at like a house show in Belfast to try and just to go. Jey Uso's on it. Cody Rhodes is on it. Rhea Ripley's on it. Becky Lynch is on it. I want 5 more minutes. Can I just have Grand Theft Auto? Can I just do one more mission? And I can't. And I can't because you go to show tickets and they're all sold out. So even if you want to, you can't. Like, it's the best. SmackDown. Watch SmackDown tonight. I'm at Michael Hamflett on X. Like, I don't know. Like, I could talk, I won't because it'll bore people, but I could talk about everything in every detail because it was just magic.
Well, let's look ahead to SmackDown tonight.
Brian, Photoshop me back in Philadelphia because it's where I wish I could be.
I want to talk to you about tonight's SmackDown. I did see WrestleTix. You see this? Hear about this?
I did not.
They're in the Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan tonight.
Look at it.
I'm going to guess available tickets?
1,000.
Current setup, 13,297. Available tickets, appropriate considering what went down on night 2 of WrestleMania. One ticket still available. And that was 14 hours ago, so I sense that's probably been snapped up.
Ticket stuff, a bit like tickets at the moment are a bit like what ratings were maybe a year ago. It's only interesting in the context of the quality of the show. I think we bring these up, not just because WWE are parroting them and it feels like something that's becoming normalised to talk about these massive 5-figure attendances and these record-setting gates and all this sort of stuff. I think it's because the shows themselves are now like reflective of these crowds. Like the crowds are in full voice. There's loads of them. The shows feel hot. The stars feel massive. They're drawing. You know, like WWE as a brand is drawing, but a lot of these wrestlers are the ones you want to see, hence why the tickets are being sold. And I maintain, and this is not said with cynicism because I couldn't be higher on a product which typically I'm quite high on anyway, I still think WrestleMania 40 Night 2 was the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, I think now what you're going to watch is a very extremely gentle decline. Like, when they are telling you, new era, greatest of all time, when they're telling you, that probably means it's already happened.
Yes.
Cool. Like, let's watch how long they can, like, ride this out for. I'm not dogging Cody's reign. I think it was right to strap him up, and I hope the business continues to boom under him. But the chase was such a big part of it.
Yeah.
And
I think I was more relieved that the Raw after WrestleMania was so good because so often we've gone into that going, they can fix what they did at WrestleMania. This was like, can they continue the momentum?
Yeah.
I think they absolutely nailed it.
I
finally felt like we've been to a lot. We've been to 3, I have, prior to that. 35. Oof.
Oh, yeah. AEW chance.
Yeah.
Show you how the pendulum swings.
38, 39. And then this year, it's like, they've got it.
Yeah.
It wasn't, it's never going to be now with AEW, the huge surprise signing popping up on the night after WrestleMania. But they've established, 2 big stars from NXT, and we'll get to more that we could hope for tonight. They had that amazing opening segment, and it's like, okay, that's all well and good. Got anything else? They've set up Chad Gable and Sami Zayn for next week.
It's in Montreal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Looking for a big attendance from that.
And they conclude the show with a brilliant angle. Jey Uso, number 1 contender, DePunker.
Doing that on the desk.
Just
CM Punk doing that. Oh, yeah.
And now, as I say, nothing's advertised for SmackDown, but nothing needs to be, because this is the SmackDown after WrestleMania. They could just coast on that. They always have done previously. And the new champs, Cody, Bayley, they're going to appear. But yeah, you just sense this real sense of expectation. Obviously, the momentum's off the chain. And yeah, where do we go from here? And, sorry, can you just close that door? Because there's a draft coming. So, I just love it.
Ease up. It's in terms of like riding the wave, I guess, and like keeping the momentum going. I wonder how quickly they'll race to Cody's obvious next challenger.
Yeah.
Backlash is not that far away. And obviously he's on the poster holding the belt. I want to say it's like...
wait a second. Sorry, 1 second. For the poster.
Oh my God.
It's Cody Pacqua.
When is it? Hang on.
It's 5th
May 4th.
4th of May, right?
Star Trek Day, that, isn't it?
May the 5th be with you. Live long and Princess Leia. What culture Star Trek, wherever you get your Star Trek part. It's really good coverage, isn't it?
Track culture's great.
It's really, really
We've
good
done some
stuff.
Star Wars stuff in the past. Shout out to Chris Thompson.
We kind of drag that brand down a little bit just by being associated it in truth, don't we? Yeah.
Ellie Little Child do great work over there.
They really do. Which one is it again? Luke Skywalker. We're the worst, aren't we?
Yeah. Genuinely, if you like Star Trek, go and check out Trek Culture. And if you like Star Wars, there's some What Culture Star Wars stuff out there that Ewan's done as well, which is genuinely great stuff.
Got anything on Stargate?
I don't think so.
We've got plenty of WWE superstars.
Yes.
That's good. That's the most important one. Yeah.
Yeah, how are they going to work it with... Because, I mean, Cody's just posted dates that he's probably going to do. There's the live shows that are coming over here soon. Yeah. But he appears to be doing both Raw and SmackDown. I don't know how they're going to play it with him. You sense generally he's probably going to be moved over to SmackDown to be the... But then, what's the flagship now?
Yeah, I think Raw's taking that back again. I think... So SmackDown's going to move to USA.
Mm-hmm.
Raw will be...
Sorry, 1 second. And particularly...
And God bless the United States.
And with
saw some of his hats walking around.
Yeah, me too. Not great. And with that, there's going to be potential for it to move nights, I guess. There's like, who knows how... No. We've got it. It's perfect right now for Raw
you and I.
Remember, like...
No.
But yeah, I think Raw becomes a flagship again when there's going to be that weird period, isn't there, where like it's not on the network and it's not on Peacock or USA and it's not on Netflix yet.
It's 2025 the Netflix stuff kicks in.
Yes, I think with the build to WrestleMania is when that starts to fall, I think. But
starting with the Rumble in the UK, as I've heard from many people.
It's going to be a London Rumble. Is that what's on the cards?
If it is.
Live show?
I think I might buy floor seats.
I'm already hearing your voice going, don't forget you want a perfect stocking filler. We've got the What Culture live show for the Rumble weekend. It's always Rumble in What Culture.
Did they do Wembley? Did they shut the roof in Wembley?
They don't know because they didn't do that for All In, but then they didn't need to because it was the height of summer, wasn't it? I'm not sure. Spurs ground, maybe White Hart Lane. That's a fancy down ground, isn't it? That's probably got something like that. Anyway, the draft. I think they're going to split up the effing Judgment Day.
What?
But I think it's going to be like a heel version of when they split up the New Day.
Okay.
Where they're going to draft Damian Priest. They're going to do a thing where like everyone's available, and then Damian Priest is going to get drafted to SmackDown.
Okay.
Possibly with Dirty Dom, maybe. I don't know. But rather than the split being what we thought, which for the longest time is teased, breaking up, like Balor didn't look at all like Jet. He wasn't eyeballing the title, was he? He'd lost the tag belts and Damian Priest wins the world title. None of that. So I think, they could keep Rhea or Damian. Like Rhea and Damian, I guess, could both go together, but I think they might keep Rhea on Raw with that women's title and send Damian Priest to SmackDown as the world champion with possibly Drew McIntyre. And then Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest have their title match at Money in the Bank in Glasgow.
Yeah.
Possibly.
It's really interesting because it's, a couple of weeks away?
It's the end of April, isn't it? So you got like a Raw, consecutive Raws and SmackDowns, I think. Or SmackDown, then Raw.
Then Raw, maybe.
Yeah. And it'll be the usual one at 2 picks for SmackDown, 3 for Raw. So they'll be like, I don't know. I think that we'll see now the belts swap effectively, but in the short term, Cody will want to make a point probably of working SmackDown just to show himself to be different to Roman Reigns. Like, he was never here, even when he was your champion. I'll be everywhere, even when I'm both.
Yes.
Like, that's sort of Cody's deal, isn't it? At least until the draft. Because he's going to be the number 1 draft pick, whichever side he goes.
God, yeah.
So it's just whichever brand gets the first pick is going to pick Cody Rhodes, aren't they? So
they should do the old thing of like a match.
A match.
I love that when it's like winner draft pick.
And that means we can finally get like the Raw robot versus the Fox mask.
Oh, yeah.
At last.
Yes, I've got to tell you. Come on.
We're going to be doing, do you think we'll
they had a good version of a belt swap on the Raw after WrestleMania. That's how good it was.
That's how good WWE is right now. You take the worst segment and you make it good.
Yeah.
Saw Natalia at Bloodsport. That's a weird sentence, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, she was hanging out at Bloodsport taking pictures of people. Nick Khan was there too.
Yeah.
And what I know about when WWE turn up at an independent show is that nothing bad ever happens from relationships being formed between WWE and independent companies. Yeah. They definitely don't cannibalise and then ruin them instantly. So I look forward to next year's, like, I don't know, what would even be a WWE version of Bloodsport? Like WWE Lockup?
WWE Bad Bloodsport.
WWE Blade Sport? Like, you're allowed
Blood's cool again now. So.
Oh yeah, we're bleeding, aren't we?
Yeah.
WWE Blood Swear. WWE ass.
Who would you have face Cody first, by the way, for the title? Finn, is that what you were alluding to there?
Yeah,
it doesn't really matter. They're gonna, like we were saying. I was saying across WrestleMania, if AJ or Karrion or people like that win, then that just makes sense.
I was thinking Finn Balor because I thought they're going to want to just complete this like expedition of gold that we've got within the Judgment Day at the moment. Like, you can't make a believer out of anybody that the first challenger after a crowning like Cody's, you can't make people believe in his first challenger. But it doesn't mean that you just phone it in. Yeah. And you, like, not to dig out Karrion Kross because you named him there, so I use him as an example. But you are just basically you're doing the opposite of what you mean to do. If you promote Karrion Kross as a challenger to Cody, you are telling people this guy's maybe the biggest loser of them all. You know, like when Ryback turned on John Cena the night after WrestleMania, like, so we can lose. Yeah, so he's not winning the belt. You know, you set somebody up as a pit. It's not even a
plus. Karrion Kross and the boys have gone down to run the best show of the week.
Mega Glove did indeed invade NXT. Didn't they?
Oh my God.
Maybe that works the other way, and it's going to be a sort of Bullet Club reunion between Bright Lights Carl Anderson and Cody Rhodes. Maybe the Good Brothers will come back. But yeah, I could see it being Finn Balor. I could see the Judgment Day wanting, like, look, Cody, you might have got there sooner, but the Judgment Day have ran Raw all this time. We're the ones that, like, were the one thing stopping you finishing your story way earlier than WrestleMania 40. Damian Priest's got a title, Rhea Ripley's got a title. It's Finn Balor's time. It's Finn Balor's turn. I could see them doing that. Like, he looks like a candidate that you could buy. You could have the heel interference thing, which allows Cody's friends to help him.
Could dye Pharaoh's fur.
Purple Pharaoh.
There you go, Brian.
A purple Pharaoh. That's almost as good as a, like, blue Pharaoh, which was Bayley's entrance.
Something to do with the Bay Area?
Yeah, that was a park or something, an Egyptian thing. Wait.
Where's the Bayley buddies at?
The Simmer video was incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Saw that like twice in buildings. It was incredible. That entrance killed like the first 2 minutes of the match for me. I was, what the hell was that? What the hell was it? I was crusty in the Itchy and Scratchy episode. I was spitting my drink out. But then the match was great. So
Match was great.
So good.
I feel like, you're covering old ground, but I could easily see Bayley immediately just facing all the members of Damage Control. Not necessarily pay-per-view to pay-per-view to pay-per-view to get to flipping SummerSlam or whatever. But, yeah, there's no reason why. It's not a Bayley versus Asuka. Yes, please. Bayley versus Io Sky again. Yes, please. Bayley versus Kairi Sane. Yes, please. Bayley versus Dakota Kai.
Was it? They were
Oh my God.
putting something together really nice before that crap finish, weren't they? Remember, like, the week after Dakota turned on her. I really like that mini singles match there. I think Dakota's probably the one, actually. Like, that's the one who ultimately broke her heart the most. And she wants to get revenge on and confirm her status as champion.
And continue that element of Bianca Belair being like, because she's helped Bayley, but never directly. It's always been Naomi she's helped us. Jade Cargill's got involved. And obviously, Jade's going to be there getting a mega push as well after WrestleMania, you sense.
The big three, they call themselves, don't they? Which I really like, by the way. Yeah, Bayley, there's probably an 8 woman there, isn't there? Once Bianca Belair and Bayley are able to do like a Mega Powers handshake, just to finally make nice, Bayley and the big three versus Damage Control is probably like Backlash. You could probably get away with a 4-on-4 without needing to have Bayley defend the title there. But I would say, yeah, those singles matches look and sound good individually.
I have a bit of a guilty pleasure as well. I used to love those ones where it's like 3-on-3, but whoever pins whoever leaves as champion.
Oh, Captain's
like,
Fall.
You remember it was like Triple H, Vince and Shane?
Yeah, the King of the Ring, yeah.
Yeah.
That was when Undertaker did the big choke slam on Shane and The Rock pinned Vince to win the title.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't necessarily want a title change there, but the intrigue of like, what are we doing here?
Damage Control could get the belt back.
Yeah.
I could just see it because I think you're right. I think they left that Bayley and Bianca thing unchecked for a reason. Like, that wasn't just smoothed over, was it, ahead of WrestleMania? So I think now would be the time to actually address that. And we've no reason to think they're not going to pick stories up. Like the Rollins, I might get a bit of grief for this, I don't know. I think Roman choosing to hit Seth, right? So, a couple of things here. Seth Rollins should have put his hand up and said, I need to hit somebody.
Yeah, I agree on that
Like,
part.
I need to get some offense on somebody. I'm going to look like a fool, right? Everything else, I don't have a huge problem with.
I think it was absolutely genius. I think a lot of people didn't realise in that moment. I was probably guilty of some of it.
I wouldn't have called it. I wouldn't have called Roman having the opportunity to take out Cody, but instead he takes out Seth. In the situation where Seth has been, like, I'm not explaining anything new to people. This wasn't subtle, but Seth had promised to be Cody's shield, and he was to the end. He lost everything over WrestleMania weekend just so Cody could get his win.
Ready-made to turn heel on Cody and have a huge match at, let's say, SummerSlam.
He couldn't have done-
I assume you're doing Rock Cody at Mania, title or not.
Probably. Like, unless they get there first. Like, because Rock and Roman was all we could talk about before 40. So, like, 41 is still there if you want to do that. Like, did Rock hand Cody something to do with Roman? Did he, like, he said, don't break my heart again? Was it like
I heard what Sid said. He said he saw online this suggestion, and I thought,
Oh my God.
it's insane. It's not this. Sid said a lighter because of Cody's tour bus catching on fire.
Oh, right, okay.
Like, I literally tried to kill you. It's not going to be real, especially because if Cody did that and Cody went, it's a lighter.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm going to have to cave your head in. You tried to kill me and my family in my tour bus.
Lighter, that's good. I was thinking like a little, like something of Roman's, like the lay.
Yeah.
Because like Rock's lost faith in him. And
Ooh, I like that.
He's saying
And
that.
there was like Hall of Fame ring, Dusty's
yeah,
watch thing.
I sort of see you now as not the tribal chief, but I'm sort of acknowledging you. As
IOU, head caved in or whatever.
one title shot because I let you have it from the Rumble. Like, that in itself is so intriguing that that's going to carry us. I think maybe SummerSlam, possibly.
Yeah,
Rock's going to film the Smashing Machine, and then he's all but said, I've got much more in me, and this run's proven that he has. I don't know about WrestleMania. I think we might get there sooner. But
Yeah.
cool if we do,
I'm not bothered either way right now, genuinely. If they decide they're going to do Rock Cody at Mania 41, that's fine. If they decide they're going to do Rock Roman, also fine. And if that means we also get Cody versus Royal Rumble winner Gunther,
Oh my God.
works for me.
Yeah.
Insane that people are suggesting Gunther should win Money in the Bank. I don't like that.
No, could see.
I'm sure they could sell me on it, but I don't like it right now. It seems. I mean, I'd give it Logan Paul, to be honest.
Yeah, this guy.
I can't say Sami Zayn this year.
No, not this year. It's June, isn't it? It's June, Money in the Bank.
June,
it's in
July,
Toronto,
yeah.
isn't it? Yeah. So we've got a bit of time. I wonder how they'll do it. I wonder if they'll look at it as. So I wonder if they'll look at the landscape they've got. Look at the end of WrestleMania. It was as much. Obviously, they were doing a bit of a mirroring of when they wanted Brett to kick off the new generation at WrestleMania 10. This was very much the whole weekend was this organised, mobilised PR exercise from Triple H and saying new era, new era, new era. Who was in the old one that you don't want to mention the name? Shut up. New era, new era, new era, new era. Like Cody's out there. But the flex of this wasn't just Cody with a belt, Triple H saying new era. It was like there's like 8 or 9 baby faces. Like there's all these people.
Yeah.
A couple of which will probably eventually turn to fight Cody. But ultimately, all of these people that you've built up along the way, were you just showing your public the people that go in this Money in the Bank, or are you going to try and elevate even more new faces? Like, we could be talking about a Money in the Bank with CM Punk in, if he's good to go.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want that, but do you know what I mean? Like, stars of the level of a CM Punk could enter into Money in the Bank with a view of getting a title shot. And if you look at that ring, that would also include a Kevin Owens, that would also include a Randy Orton. Like, enormous ex-world champion stars that you could credibly put in as be like, well, look, I want to crack at Cody, and this is going to be the way I'm going to do it. Drew, like if he's still in need of that shot by then.
Because I always like that. I'm calling my shot, and I'm calling it in Scotland. And
so at the moment, it's so cool to be watching, and this falls into us previewing SmackDown a little bit. There is nothing announced. Part of the excitement right now is how limitless the opportunities appear to be in front of us. Like, we've come away from a WrestleMania. I did feel like, parrot my own nonsense about that. Oh, it's the end of the world. Anyway, see you tomorrow for the start of the world. I think they nailed that, and that's the most important thing for me to nail with the paper. You want to feel completely validated for all that anticipation, because the anticipation is the biggest part of all this for me. It's the emotional investment. We got that, and then we got a payoff that satisfied all of that investment. I can't remember a time where it doesn't feel like there needs to be a lull.
No.
And I sense from the wrestlers and from Triple H, they're going to try and make a point of not having one.
I think it helps as well that they're doing 5 out of the next 6 or 6 out of the next 7 outside the US.
They're not back in America till SummerSlam, is that right?
Might be.
You got Backlash in France.
Saudi
shows, Money in the Bank in Toronto. Bash at Berlin in Berlin, obviously. That might be slightly after SummerSlam. I think it's just maybe a couple of weeks afterwards. So yeah, I don't think they're back in SummerSlam, back in America till SummerSlam. So every crowd is going to be hot again. We saw this last year. This time last year it was Backlash in Puerto Rico. The lull was this sort of just this accepted reality of a calendar that peaked so much.
Plus the lull used to be, Rome's going away for a bit now.
Yeah, and Cody's going to be the opposite of that. The draft will really help, because if you... I know they're never perfect with it, ever. But if you're loyal enough to the roster, I heard our friends at Grapple make this point. I think it was Benno, make the point that, similar to how we talk about the rankings, in AEW, I don't need it to be perfect. I just need it to exist as a framework. And if somebody's jumped the queue, just explain it.
Yeah.
I'll take the rankings, and then somebody gets a shot for some reason. Yeah. Mercedes is going to get a shot just like that. Mercedes money. Just make that make sense, and I don't mind that it flouts the rankings a bit. I feel that way about the draft.
Yeah.
Just respect the process a bit. Have Adam Pearce, or the SmackDown general manager, can't remember his name, make it sort of clear that they've allowed this person, or they're annoyed that this person showed up, and that you see the SmackDown general manager, can't remember his name, stay tuned, on the phone to Adam Pearce going, what the hell are you doing here? As long as you follow that, I can cope with the odd transgression. So yeah, I think they'll be quite loyal to this split. I think they're going to think carefully about the rosters in the same way they've thought carefully about everything else. Triple H said, and I believe him, by the way, it came out, it might not have been Triple H in the press conference, I think it was a report, that Damian Priest's cash-in was 6 months in the making. I believe it, because 6 months ago was Survivor Series time, and that was when they were beating the Judgment Day definitively in War Games as the big baddies. And Priest and Balor were the tag champions. And if you had your eye on things, you were probably thinking, I think Awesome Truth might take those belts. Can't remember anybody that said it. But I remember, that was the period where you're this is getting hot. They're the team to take those belts. And then 24 hours later, Priest gets his moment, right? I think that's for a while they were teasing the dissension within the Judgment Day, which they've decided not to go with. But I do believe that night 2 cash-in, that Drew McIntyre adjacent cash-in, I think that was always on the cards. I do wonder if it had been Punk and Seth.
Yeah.
Punk has his moment at like the end of night 1. If in that version of events, and they're like, Punk, mate, this is a deal, are you in? All right, I wonder if that would have been how WrestleMania could have ended. But I believe that they had this Damian Priest idea for a while, and they just had to grit their teeth through the why would you not cash in? Why would you not cash in? And I think those questions. I saw Triple H saying like, I think he's going to shove it up the ass of a lot of critics. I think that was a fair question.
Oh, absolutely.
I think people were raising a fair point there. Seth Rollins has been lying on the canvas every week for about the past month. Why is he not doing it? But it's worked out in the end. It's a process truster, that one.
What the hell happens with the Bloodline tonight? Are they finished? Do you have Jimmy and Solo just sort of going, what do we do now?
I don't know.
Roman is off with his knob out on the Island of Relevancy.
Yeah.
It's going to be the biggest thing in the world when he comes back. I'm fascinated to see that. But obviously right now they're not going to have him say, got to go away for a while. He's just going to disappear. But there's a huge void left there. And the Bloodline, because he's not finished, is it? Because you've still got all that stuff to go with Rock Roman and maybe even Solo and Roman going forward. Paul Heyman may have his head turned by this guy. I don't know. But yeah, what's the deal with the Bloodline? Are they finished for now?
I don't know. I could see Paul Heyman looking upon what currently remains of the Bloodline and just tearfully making an exit.
Or do you say Solo's Cody's first challenger?
Solo, that's not bad, actually. Yeah, that's probably the move, isn't it? Solo or Jimmy is the challenger with the other one as the one running interference. Like, hang on.
Jimmy, let's toss a coin and see which one it is. So does me.
Wait a minute.
Go on.
Oh, ye of little faith, right?
When?
You laugh off Jimmy Uso as a challenger, who is currently the challenger, the number one contender now for the World Heavyweight title.
Jey Uso.
Backlash, right? Double Uso title shots. Both want to win titles at the same time as a reward for their fantastic WrestleMania match.
Pour temp. That's a yeet in French, I think.
Is it?
I looked it up a while back.
Pour temp.
English. I apologise if that's some sort of awful thing I've said there.
Yeah, apologies.
Pourtant, sorry.
Pourtant.
Pourtant. P-O-U-R-T-A.
P-O-U-R-T.
Hang on. Hey, Google. Yeet. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Google. Pourtant. 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 Yeah, you could have both Usos fighting for titles, couldn't you?
No.
It's got to be Solo.
It has to be Solo. If he's going to do that, it might as well be Solo.
Aye. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe you do that one little stave execution where Solo's like, I'll get it back, and him is like, all right, yeah, you're good. I think you can. And then Cody beats Solo at Backlash. And then after that, him's like, I'm going away, mate.
Bye-bye.
Clean your own mess up. And then we kind of see the Bloodline.
I'd like to see vignettes of Paul Heyman on the Island of Relevancy.
They could. You remember when Eric Bischoff had to go to Texas to find Steve Austin?
Yes.
Going in all those bars. You could have Paul Heyman like arrive there on a boat in like a Hawaiian shirt and board shorts and stuff, and he's just like there's like an entire night of Paul Heyman getting lost in the Island of Relevancy. So like he's like looking around, he bumps into Sawyer from Lost or something like that. Finds a hatch. There's suddenly like what was it, Robinson Crusoe's there reading a book leaning up against a tree. Just this like beautiful desert island. And then like at the very end, like he finds Roman Reigns, completely Billy Bollico, windmilling that dick in the Island of Relevancy air. And he's just like, I need the old Roman Reigns. I've not got this anymore. And Heyman eventually gets it. And like the last thing you see on SmackDown is Roman going like,
I love it.
Oh, that for our YouTube viewers, that was me loading up the glove.
Of course. One final thing. One thing I want to talk to you about very quickly. I've got a great suggestion. I'm going to find this tweet again because I want to give this person a shout.
What was it?
Hey?
Pourtant.
This was from...
Just me.
It was from Captain OCD on the news today. Can you see A-Tan Dan Under? Weird choice, but I think there's going to be a reasoning behind this. But they're on SmackDown as well.
Yeah.
Being the arrogant heels and claiming they can beat any two people that they've not beaten in a tag match on SmackDown. only for the siren to hit and out come the Wolf Dogs who beat them.
Oh, I like that.
Makes sense why they dropped the titles on NXT.
I like that a lot. Yeah.
Sorry.
Wait a minute. How are we not putting our hands together here? I love the idea of the shock. Don't get me wrong. Braun Breaker has said goodbye to NXT.
Shiggy.
Wolf Dogs have lost the belts. What crucial ingredient are we missing here?
Baron.
Do not strap up the Wolf Dogs now. Strap him up in his hometown.
Hell yes.
This is Bad Bunny work in Puerto Rico, man, when Baron Corbin goes over to France. What's Wolf Dogs in French?
Oh, I think I'd actually looked this up. Hang on. English. I've literally just closed that. English. Wolf Dogs all one word or Wolf Dogs 2 words? Let's do 2 words. Okay, so. Wolf Dog.
Chalou. Ba 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 ba. Chalou. Chalou. There we go. That's the match for Backlash.
That'd be amazing.
Wolf Dogs versus A-Town Down Under. That's the match.
One final thing to talk about. We haven't really talked a lot about SmackDown, but regardless, we don't know what to expect, and we'll deal with it all on Monday, is potential surprise appearances. Mm-hmm. Less so free agent signing.
Okay.
And more potentially them bringing up people from NXT, or at least teasing it as they have done with Ilya and Roxy. Can you see that happening? Could more NXT stars on the main roster?
Yeah, who have we got? So you could have Nathan Frazier.
When I'm cleaning windows.
And his tag team championship partner, Axiom. Just in keeping with the fact that obviously all the title holders get through. Who are we missing? Who am I forgetting from NXT there? Oh,
Obafemi and Charlie Dempsey, who's Heritage Cup champion.
Oh, yeah. Saw Charlie Dempsey work Bloodsport.
Got a black eye, he said on NXT.
Anyway, it was weird because he did sort of look like he belonged out there.
Yeah.
That is his thing. And it's just funny to me.
Obafemi versus Ivar, by the way.
Oh my God. That's the sort of nonsense that we would have booked for a SmackDown, and they're just knocking it out there on a Tuesday after WrestleMania just because.
Yeah.
God damn, man. When you're hot, you're hot. And when you're not, my word, are you not? The possibilities, I suppose, of the champions being on the show, if only to, seem likely, if only to remind you that the draft is anybody and everybody. I know that's the point of it, right? The idea that you get sort of this time of year, anything can happen, and they don't have to get drafted. I expect at least one of the current NXT champions to get drafted, and then lose their title shockingly or whatever. Kind of wish that already happened when I saw Really Dragunov walk out on Monday Night Raw. Got to be honest,
well, grumpiest I was the entire weekend. That
sort of feel like that would have been the time and the place, but well, let's get them on SmackDown tonight. Anybody else from NXT?
Well, it's funny you say that.
It's time to play the game! Time to play the game! Ha ha ha!
Who else from NXT could show up on SmackDown tonight? I have the NXT roster page open in front of me. I am scrolling through it. When you're ready, stop. Give me a number between 1 and 4.
Yeet.
Oh.
3.
Okay.
He's
only just arrived in NXT.
All right.
Pro Evo rules this, so you only get one.
Right.
Sean Spears.
Yeah, twist. Yeet.
Right. I don't want to put any pressure on you here. There's one half of the draw here that you could literally knock it out of the park. And the other half, I'm not even going to read the name out. We're just going to go, let's move on to the next one.
Oh, dear.
1 to 4.
That feels a lot of pressure too.
Oh my
You
God.
nailed it! Nothing against Valentina Feroz and Vic Joseph.
No, I'd miss the voice of NXT.
Oh! Teachable moment!
But the other side of the draw, I will say, if you'd have said we the ones, you'd have got Tony Goddamn the end. Which could still happen.
Yeah, not got a lot left to do down there now.
And if that does, everything will be justified from standard level. But you said 2. And that's Trick Williams.
Oh my God.
Because it's
Whoop
all
that trick.
all of it up in the air. And that arguably would work because you've got Melo's halfway to the main roster anyway.
Yeah.
You've got the steel cage match on NXT next week with Melo to lead to Dragunov, to lead to potential title change, to free Dragunov for the draft and what have you.
Like Dragunov, it's not in as many words, but it's lose leads, isn't it? Because we think Dragunov's getting the call up regardless. And like Trick Williams has got to leave if he loses to Dragunov anyway. So like somebody's going.
And people, Trick gets a reaction. And
I think the time is right for Trick. I'm not suggesting that he's this like ready-made main roster wrestler, but he's a ready-made main roster star.
And people Whoop That Trick's a bit bastardized in terms of he was on one show, wasn't it? And I was like, Jesus, Trick. So they're chanting for Trick and he's not even on this show. And you're like, no, that's the local sports team's thing or whatever. But regardless, the buzz around that guy and the awareness, I'd still say, of that guy.
How amazing. Like what, I've used this word a lot on this podcast, but what a privilege to be, was it like 13,000 at Stand and Deliver? Mm-hmm. Like chanting Whoop That Trick. Like his, like, energy. I didn't love the match, if I'm honest. I didn't expect to, and I got pretty much what I was expecting. But the energy that he had throughout and what he was drawing from the people, that's more important. That is more important than anything else. And I think that translates. I think it translates quickly as well. What happened on NXT was that we have watched 2.0 from the very beginning, reviewed every single episode, oddly fallen in love with it. And his debut on NXT was as daft as anybody else's. I'm Melo's mate. I've been here the whole time. I was watching last week and you didn't exist. But do you remember week one? We were like, well, that's the biggest load of I've ever seen. That's complete nonsense. What on earth is this?
Yeah.
What the hell is that? Can't wait for next week. The one sort of difference was Trick and Melo.
Yes.
That act was magic. Instantly magic. Mm-hmm. There was even a feeling of, well, Melo's going to be the guy, but Trick's going to become the guy in the background. Yeah. You even felt like you could see the way the story has played out as it was being launched, pretty much. And sure enough, it's played out. They've been patient with Trick's turn. They've given him these big capital M moments just to kind of like, almost to test the fans.
Yeah.
Like the one for me was Iron Survivor. Like the way he won that with the run of falls was this big test of, a fan's going to buy this. And it was exhilarating to watch him rack up those pins.
Because Iron Survivor is the greatest new match type in the last decade, probably.
Tell him when he's telling lies. And I just think...
Scratch that, Viking Rules is pretty goated as well.
Right.
Obafemi versus Ivar of Viking Rules.
Oh my God.
Sorry, we're getting to the NXT preview.
Sorry, they're taking the boat to NXT.
They've already got one. They got Natalia there.
I was going to say... It's where the boat belongs. For years. I think Trick would be a great call-up, more so than Melo. No, that's not fair. A more impactful call-up than Melo, because
I could see Melo being switched to Raw.
Yeah.
They can't be on the same brand,
no,
obviously.
I think that's it. I think Melo is going to settle in as a wrestler quicker than Trick, but the questions that Trick will ask of the existing roster when he comes out that first time and gets the biggest pop of the night is going to be really interesting because a lot of main roster wrestlers at this point have kind of not had their runs, but have been there long enough that when a Trick Williams lands, it's got that proper, out of the way, because this guy's just so popular.
I really liked on the Raw after WrestleMania, and I'm hoping they do the same on SmackDown tonight. And no offense to the likes of Shinsuke Nakamura and Indy Hartwell, but on these shows, when you see someone, you're like, you haven't been doing anything. I know Indy's been doing that. What the bloody hell's all this, Candice? But he hasn't been doing big things of note.
Designated loser for the night, yeah.
And when they just bring out someone, they go, here we go, match between person you haven't seen or hasn't been used or whatever for the last month or so on the build to WrestleMania. They're out for a match, and you're like, well, this isn't going to be your bog standard kill 10 minutes. Something's happening here.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you've got someone out there.
Why don't I give you both? You know, you were saying how because of AEW now, you don't really get the, oh my God, a new signing.
Yeah.
Let's have both. Let's have the new signing plus the NXT surprise for the night. Ding, ding, ding. Following contest is scheduled for 1-4. Oh, yeah. And Matt Hardy hobbles out there, and then Obafemi beats him like a minute.
Fine by me. I've almost forgot to mention Sheamus. I was so close to wrapping up there. I assume he's going to show up tonight.
I thought he might be a draft, but yeah, could be on SmackDown, couldn't he?
He could be a brilliant first challenger for Cody.
Yeah, that would be good.
Me and Andy and Sid have talked about this in terms of he's not going to win, but by God, he's going to have a great match with Cody.
or he returns in Montreal and like drills, like Sammy beats Gable and then drills Sammy's in because it's the Intercontinental title he wants. It's the one belt missing from his collection, isn't it?
Mohawk stuff in his beard again. I'm back. Maybe not.
Little beads.
Who's the... Right, I'm just looking at the roster for the poor bastard who's going to get sent out there to be beaten by Trick. Cedric Alexander's on the roster.
Okay.
I love him.
Does nothing, yeah.
Although... Yes, boo!
Oh,
One of them are just great.
Pretty deadly at WrestleMania. Giving you this, like, I don't know, like a very NXT 2.0, like sort of rundown of all the wrestlers. It was just right, wasn't it?
Perfect.
It was just right.
I wanted them to be the host, but I'll take that. That's a good consolation.
You weren't topping the metaphor from Stand and Deliver.
No.
Like they were given every tool. Like I don't think Pretty Deadly could have gotten away with it at WrestleMania.
But yeah, I like Sheamus returning. Mm-hmm. That's a big thing for SmackDown as well.
Yeah. They're not short of people. The thing with Cody, again, like they could just save this for the draft episodes to be like set up a big challenger there. But the thing with Cody is even if on the surface you're not convinced that this is the challenger or this is even really the guy for a month, that's a fun test of Cody as WWE champion.
Yeah.
Because the whole time we've been watching him like have to get through the last 12 months cutting a promo on Dominic Mysterio, making it matter and becoming a tag champion with Jey Uso and it being absolutely goated, excuse me. Like, that's what Cody's done over and over again.
Yes.
So if you're lining him up with some challenger that theoretically has no chance, I feel like you'll see that as a cool test that he's going to pass as the new company guy. And if he doesn't, then great, because somebody else is going to be thinking, I'm going to take your spot. And that's part of the fun of viewing, of watching like a whole new kind of competitive lineup of wrestlers that will see the absence of Roman Reigns as an opportunity for them to step in as like a top heel. Gunther, having lost, has surely lost upwards.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, like I cannot wait to see how the pieces now fall with so many big players moved around, and Cody included.
So exciting. Let us know your thoughts ahead of SmackDown tonight, though, on X at WhatCultureWWE or in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to What Culture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. Wrestle Culture coming your way later on today. Follow us on Twitter, as I said, at WhatCultureWWE. You can follow Michael Hamflett at...
Yeet.
You can follow me at Adam Wilbourn. Follow us all at What Culture WWE, as I said. But yeah, looking forward to SmackDown tonight with all the fallout from WrestleMania XL. We're going to find out what's next for Cody Rhodes, the new champ Bayley set to appear. Is the Bloodline finished? And potentially some surprise appearances on the show.
The SmackDown preview. It's got all this and so much. Yeet.
We'll see you soon.